Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to discuss about object-oriented programming concepts. Before going to learn about object-oriented programming concept, let us discuss about what is object-oriented paradigm. The object-oriented paradigm's main objective is to eliminate some of the flaws encountered in a procedure-oriented programming approach. That is, the object-oriented programming is aimed to eliminate the flaws encountered in the procedure-oriented approach. So, OP treats data as a critical element to the program to develop and does not allow it to flow freely around the system. That is, object-oriented programming treats data as the critical element in the programming development. It does not allow the program to freely flow around the system. It ties data more closely to the function that operates on it and protects it from external function. By unintentional modification, it ties data more closely to the function that operate on it only, and it protects from external functions by modifying it unintentionally. So external functions which are not having the access to the function cannot access the data of the function, so they cannot modify the data. So ultimately that provides security to the data. So that is the main objective of object-oriented paradigm. Object-oriented paradigm allows us to decompose a problem into a number of entities called as objects, and then build the data and and functions and or methods which we need to operate on the data, which we want to operate on the data. So in object-oriented paradigm only we can divide the data or decompose the data into several objects to make the program easy to understand and easy to develop. We decompose the entire problem into several objects. That is the one of the advantage with object-oriented paradigm. So what are the object-oriented concepts? The object-oriented concepts are classes, objects, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, and message passing. The object-oriented programming concepts are classes, objects, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, and message passing. These are all the concepts of object-oriented programming concepts. Object-oriented programming is simply known as OOPS. What is a class? A class is a user-defined data type. It is a group of data members and member functions. Member functions or functions are nothing but methods of a class. It is a collection of objects of similar type. Simply, a class is a collection of objects of similar type. The syntax of class is, that is, the rules that are followed to define a class is, a class should be defined by using the following syntax. Class is a keyword which is used to define the class and is followed by a class name. Class name is user defined type. You can define a class name any of you desired. So class name is a syntax to create a class, and within the braces you can specify the variables and methods that can be defined in the class. The variables and methods are nothing but the data operated on the problem. For example, let we define a class first. Class is a keyword. First is my class name, and integer roll number is a variable, string name is a variable, and void display is a method which is present in the class. In this pattern, we can define a class. Now let us understand what is an object of a class. Object is a real-time and runtime entity and is instance of a class. Object is known as instance of a class. Why? Because instead of the class name, using class name every time to access the methods, we can create an object to the class and we can access the methods of the class with the help of the object. So object is known as instance of a class. An object may represent a person, a place, or a bank account, or a table of data, or any data item that the program may handle. So what kind of entity is an object? An object is a real-time entity and runtime entity. Why? Because object is instantiated at runtime. That's why object is called as a runtime entity. Object is known as an instance of a class. Why? Because instead of the class name we can use object name. Object may represent the data related to a person, data related to a place, data related to bank account, and the data related to a table. Any kind of data an object may represent. The syntax to create an object is class name space object name. Class name space object name, and object is instantiated by using class name space object name is equal to new, which is a memory allocation operator, and class name open bracket and closing bracket. So that is the syntax to instantiate an object. Encapsulation. Wrapping up of data and methods into a single unit is known as encapsulation. Encapsulation is a technique of making the fields in a class private and providing access to the fields via public methods. So this mechanism of making the fields in a class private and providing access to the fields only via public methods is called as data hiding. So as a whole, the data hiding of encapsulation provides data security. So encapsulation provides a way to achieve abstraction for objects or data. Hence, encapsulation provides data security to the members of the class. So, what next concept is abstraction. Abstraction refers to the act of representing essential features without including the background details, called as data abstraction. Data abstraction means hiding the unnecessary details of the object is called as data abstraction. Data abstraction is achieved through encapsulation in one way, because through the encapsulation the access to the members of the class can be is restricted. The members of the class is only visible to the methods of the class only. The methods of the fields of the class is visible to the only methods of the class only. The outside methods of the class cannot access the data of the class. So the data is only accessible for the members of the class only. This provides abstraction, that is hiding the details of the class from the outside methods is called as abstraction. So abstraction is achieved through encapsulation. Abstraction refers to the hiding of the details as an only showing the essential features. Inheritance. Inheritance is a mechanism by which the properties of one class is acquired by the other class. In OO concepts, inheritance provides the idea of reusability. So the main concept of inheritance is the main advantage of inheritance is reusability. That is, the properties of one class is accessible by the other class with the help of inheritance. So inheritance provides a way to access the properties of acquiring the one class by the other class. Acquiring the properties by the one class is called as, that is, we are using the existing class properties and defining a new class. So this kind of mechanism of defining new classes is called as inheritance. In inheritance, we can derive a class from an existing class, and we can add some more features to an existing class and define a new class. This is possible by deriving a new class from the existing one. So that is the concept of inheritance. Inheritance is one of the important features of object-oriented programming concepts. Polymorphism. It is another important concept of OO programming. Polymorphism means the ability to take more than one form. It allows a single name to be used for more than one related purpose. That is, if we want to perform an addition, if we want to take addition operator can be used for adding integers, for adding numbers, or for adding strings. So addition is a common thing, but we can use it for adding two strings and adding two numbers. So it may exhibit different behavior in different instances. So this kind of exhibiting different behavior in different instances is called as polymorphism. Polymorphism is of two types: runtime polymorphism and compile time polymorphism. Polymorphism in detail can be explained in later on chapters. So as of now, polymorphism is exhibiting many forms. The ability of a method to show different behavior in different instances is called as polymorphism. Dynamic binding. Dynamic binding means the code associated with the given procedure call is not known until the time of call at runtime. So the linking of the code at the time of runtime is called as dynamic binding. That is, the code of procedure call only known at the runtime. So that is, the binding of data at runtime is called as dynamic binding. Message communication. An object-oriented programming consists of a set of objects that communicate with each other. Objects communicate with one another by sending and receiving information in form of messages. So this form of communication is called as message communication. A message for an object is a request for execution of a procedure. Message passing involves specifying the name of the object, name of the method, and the information to be sent. So the message passing involves what kind of data it involves means it involves the name of the object, the name of the method, and the name information to be sent. What kind of information to be sent to the method? So the syntax to send a message is employee is an object, salary is a message, and type of the information is name we are sending. So this is the way how we communicate through messages. So an object oriented programming in object oriented programming, sending messages and receiving information in the form of messages is called as message communication. That is communication between objects. Communication through procedure calls is called as message communication in object oriented programming language. So, and finally, a language is said to be a purely object oriented programming language if and only if it possesses all the characters of object oriented programming concepts. So, what is the properties? What is the object oriented concepts that a language should be satisfy if it is known, if it should know as a object oriented programming language is a language should obey encapsulation. A language should obey abstraction. A language should obey the property of inheritance, and a language should obey the property of polymorphism. So when a language is known as an object oriented programming language, it should have the following properties. It should have encapsulation, it should obey the property of abstraction, it should obey the property of inheritance, it should obey the property of polymorphism. A language which satisfies all these properties, then only it is known as object oriented programming language. The remaining concepts are all known as object oriented programming concepts. Thank you.